You know, the problem with saving a marriage is that women are never happy for at least too long. And that's probably controversial for me to say, but if we're going to talk about what really causes a divorce and how to keep a marriage happy and thriving, we need to start with some honesty.
You know, Catherine, men are horrible. Okay? I mean, I have to just tell it to you like it is, honey, but all men are awful, really. And the key is to just find a man who's the least horrible.
Things women find unattractive in modern day men. Number 1, men who are in touch with their feminine side. Number 2 is pick-me boys. Number 3 is guys who do not work out or stay in shape.
I mean, women initiate divorce way more than men. It's not even close. So how does a man keep his woman happy and committed? I would argue that this one ability to know her true nature and keep her falling for you more and more each day is the secret to a happy marriage. Not communication, not knowing each other's love language, or even their attachment style. It's about mastering the knowledge of feminine and masculine polarity. So for the next few minutes, I will lay out 3 new principles about women that I recently discovered that will shift the way you see her in a positive way, which that will give you more empathy toward her. I will lay out the medical model of love to find the virus that pushed her away from you, and a paradox of your masculine nature that few men rarely learn. The first principle is that she needs a man. Now, there have been recent clips going around online of women saying that they don't really need men in their life.
Do women need men?
No, absolutely not.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No. We don't need
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men? Do we need men? Do we need men? Why? Do we need men? No? Do we need men?
We need men.
Do we need men? Do we need men? Do women need men as well? Do we need men?
No.
Why?
We need strong individuals.
Do we need men?
Like, not necessarily, but we need men.
Now look, I get it. Women are saying that the idea of needing a man for a Western woman seems weak. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the positive or negatives or go into a gender debate or feminism or all that stuff. Okay, just we need each other to survive, period. I don't care how independent you or you think your wife is. We need each other. In fact, the women that are independent, they often have a backup partner. Studies even show this. Look, she needs love to survive, an attachment caregiver, a safe place, secure base. But why is this so important? Well, this is important because it gives you value. As much as she says she doesn't need you, of course she would say that. She believes it gives you free reign to treat her how you want without any repercussions. So she says, I will leave you and I don't need you. You see how that creates more of a power balance? Because some men will be like, oh, she'll never leave me because we're married. So I can be complacent, take for granted, which a lot of men tend to do. The truth is, she just needs a man that makes her happy. But the question around that is, how happy? The second principle is that the feminine always wants more. Let's start with this joke to show you what I mean.
Ladies, a new store has opened up in New York City. And it is the husband store. And if you want a husband, you can go there and shop for one. Now, there are some guidelines to shopping at this store. There are 6 floors in the store. Once you visit a floor and leave that floor and go to the next floor, you can't go back down. So there's none of this like looking at all the merchandise and then deciding what you want. So a woman went to the husband store, and on the first floor the sign read, "These men have jobs." She thought, wow, a man with a job. That would be really good. She thought about it, but she thought, well, I have to see what's on the second floor. So she went to the second floor. These men have jobs and they love kids. She thought, wow, jobs, loves kids, good looking, helps with the housework. Oh, mercy me, she thought I can hardly stand it. And yet she had to go see what was on the 5th floor. These men have jobs, love kids, are drop dead gorgeous. Excuse me, I'm having a little voice issue here. And they have a strong romantic streak. Come on, housework and romance. But she thought, well, it keeps getting better, so I just have to find out what is on the top floor. The top floor, the sign read, you are visitor 31,456,012 to this floor. There are no men on this floor. This floor exists solely as proof that women are impossible to please.
It's a funny joke, but there's truth in jest, right? In that no matter how much you give a woman, she's always going to ask more of. Now, a lesser man will complain about this, saying, oh, she's never happy. I just can't please her. I'm not good enough. Or the apex man takes that idea of her always wanting more and says, cool, she is pushing me to be my best self. My biggest challenge to grow into the man that is the best possible man to become on this planet is my wife, is my girlfriend, is my relation, is my feminine to my masculine. She is the other side pushing you to be your best, to be at your fullest, and she will test you. I have whole videos on tests. There's a really good one at the end of this video if you want to check it out. Just know that every single woman, she's in her feminine, which she only wants a feminine woman. She will always push you to be a better man, no matter where you are at, okay? No matter at what level a guy is at, his wife is always pushing him to go further, to do more, because she expects the best. Now, again, the reason why I'm teaching you this, why I'm telling you aspects of her feminine nature at the core of these advanced principles is because if you can truly understand why she does this, it gives you more empathy and understanding toward her, and you won't get as frustrated and you won't argue against her core nature, and that there will be more harmony between the two of you instead of disharmony and disconnect. To highlight the difference between the masculine and feminine, I asked this woman that I know, I said, why do you think we're here on this world? She said, well, to experience everything life has to offer me, to experience all the highs and emotions, that every emotion possible, to explore, to go on adventures, to get lost. That is the feminine archetype, which men have as well, just as much as women have the masculine archetype. But I would argue that the masculine paradigm, our purpose in life is a little bit different. I think in our masculine, we have a couple of reasons why we're here, and you can find your own reason. I think every man should find his own higher reason for being. But I think in whole, what makes a man feel fulfilled is learning to find his value in this world, how he can understand his talents and gifts from the struggles he had early on in life, and to use those as resources and tools to better serve humanity. That's what I've seen with myself and other people that have a fulfilled life, is that they went through struggles themselves. They learned skills based off that trauma and that those hardships, those trials and tribulations throughout their life. And they said, how can I use this to my advantage to heal others, to help others? I even remember reading Elon Musk's autobiography, and this guy, he was bullied as a kid, completely isolated. And from a psychological perspective, I think Elon, the why he's doing all these companies and creating these cool things is because honestly, there's a little boy in there that just wants to be accepted by others, that he is cool, that he has some value. And that's just my personal perspective. But I see, because of him being bullied growing up, now look what he's done for the world, and all the companies he's developed. But going back to the idea of why a woman is here on this planet, she wants to have it all and then some. Okay. And this is why it's so important as a man to constantly be a mystery for her. You've heard this. Like, you have to be a man where there is constant new layers being exposed over time. And I'll go more deeper later on how to do this, but the simplest way on the surface is for you to continually develop yourself, to constantly be learning about yourself, to grow as a man, as you should be doing. You should be learning about yourself more and more. You don't finally understand who you are at 30 or 40 years old. I mean, I think it was Plato who said, like, on his deathbed, the smartest man of recorded history at that time, he said before he died, the one thing I know in life is that I don't know much. I'm not even sure about that. Okay. So for you must be learning about yourself. I don't think you know it. I think as men, as we get older, we kind of like, oh, this is how life is. This is the way I am. I accept myself with her. There's some beauty in that. But at the end of the day, you should be constantly learning and growing. And what that does is that's attractive, because if you're learning and growing about yourself, she will see that as well. And that is just, there's always more to uncover. There's more adventure to find within yourself. Where men really screw this up, it is when a woman asks for more, when she's asking to do all these things, when she wants more experience, when she says she's bored, she doesn't feel the romance. A lot of men, the biggest mistake that you can make is you take it personal, like it's about yourself. Like, I'm not enough for you. I'm just not enough. If that's how you feel, I read a quote recently. I shared it with the guys in my program in the group. I said, you cannot get triggered if there's no trigger to pull. I get the wound of, like, she says something and then you goes, oh, am I not enough for you? Is that not enough? I try my hardest. That is the wounded child in you. And it's like, it doesn't hurt unless there's already a wound there that she's pressing on. So that is knowledge. If you ever thought that to yourself, like, I'm not enough for her, she doesn't appreciate me, there is a wound that you have to heal. And the best way to heal that is to uncover the source of it. And so if you get on a call with our marriage evaluation team, we can see exactly why the marriage falls apart from that perspective as well. It's not simply free advice, though. So make sure you're fully committed to changing your marriage, getting her back, and becoming the best version of yourself. If that is you, click the link down below. Let's continue. The third principle is that she is in her superposition. You want her to tell you what she wants, right? If she only told you, then you would love to make her happy. If it was only that simple. Look, feminine energy is in superposition. Have you ever heard of the double slit experiment? That experiment reveals that particles like electrons and photons behave as both particles and waves. When particles pass through two slits without being observed, they create an interference pattern, showing wave-like behavior. However, When we observe which slit they pass through, the wave pattern disperses and they behave like particles. This shows that the act of observation affects the outcome. This is how it relates to reality creation, especially with your wife in a relationship. Just like the experiment, our attention and focus act as observation, collapsing infinite possibilities into a singular outcome. The reality you experience depends on where you direct your awareness to. When you focus on a specific goal or intention or outcome with her, you align your energy and bring that possibility into existence. This demonstrates the power of belief and conscious thought in shaping your reality. You have to create the reality you want with her. So often, when you have fear coming about in your mind, the reality that you're unconsciously projecting is one of an outcome you don't want. And the unfortunate irony is that you are then creating that fear when she comes home and you are afraid that she's going to reject you or she's going to push you away because it happened last time. You are still going to create it. However, if you can consciously focus your attention towards what you want, you show up in a way, you anticipate a positive response, and you be surprised at the change in your nonverbals, the way that you just present in your energy, how you could create a new reality with her if you believe it and see it in your mind first. But if you're running on default and anxiety and fear, that's what's going to rule your life. And your ability to overcome that fear, to learn how to let go of it and produce the outcome you want, is the 80-20 rule in getting the result with her, okay? That solid belief system. But if it's that simple to create, how come so many men screw this up? The fourth principle is the unconscious virus. So in my current relationship, we had a very difficult period, okay? We've been together for about 3 years now. I am going to marry this woman. I know exactly when. But we did have a difficult period. And there was an early experience where I had a girl as a friend that I wasn't forthright in telling her how often I would hang out with her. And there was nothing going on there, but I should have told her. And that was my fault. But that created a crack in disbelief and doubt. She started to put her walls up and protect herself against me. She became more critical and afraid of where I was going, who I was doing it with, and she started pushing me away. And then the more she did that, I started to doubt in my mind, is she the one? Because I said to myself, if the woman I want to marry won't treat me this way. And so I started to become more defensive. I started to avoid conversations more. And the more I did that, the less safe she felt. And you could see how it was just this back and forth pushing each other away more and more. And the way I want you to view this, I want you to view this same exact paradigm in your relationship as this virus that entered into your relationship, that both of you shared this virus. And its main goal is to push you guys away from each other because other people can hurt you. That's what this virus's code says. That you must push people away, that others will hurt you. You cannot rely on it. They will either smother you or they will abandon. But the truth is, as cliche as it sounds, love is all there is. It is what we are striving to achieve. Those moments of connection that you have with your family, with her. There are no words to describe the beauty. Those are the moments why we're here on this planet. Those small little moments of connection across the dinner table or Christmas morning or whatever it is, laughing, playing together, even just on the couch watching TV as a family unit. Those moments are what everyone is fighting for. When you first fell in love with her, God showed you who you had to be and how it felt when you were in alignment with your highest self, leaning towards love and away from fear and protection. Because this virus controls 98% of your thoughts, emotions, and passions on autopilot. And its main goal is that you survive. And the way it does this is that it gives fear to others. It infects people around you with fear and also with protection. The idea is that they're going to hurt each other. And so why be the bigger man? Why be the one to heal this virus? Why not her? The thing is that when she said, I am done, I love you, I'm not in love with you, there's no chance. Whatever she said to you, combination of all of it, that was her virus speaking. She was afraid. But you must recognize the truth. When she said those things, that was her feminine essence, afraid, and also challenging you, saying, okay, I don't think you're the man for me right now. Are you going to prove me wrong? And if you reacted from fear with your virus, from protection, begging, being needy, pushing her away, whatever it was, trying to use shame tactics, it was all out of alignment with the man that you should be. And that just justified in her mind that she made the right decision. So the question is, how do you find alignment? How do you overcome this virus? Well, I mean, that's my whole entire program, teaching that concept and how the masculine will lead first, how to pull her out of her frame, how to influence her. So again, you can set the call down below. But for the final principle here in the masculine balance, I'll give you a really good idea of how to do that yourself. A man's worth is found in the sacrifices he is willing to make for others, especially those he loves. Recently, in one of the groups that I'm leading, I asked the guys a really important question. It was a paradox of sorts. I said, all right, women want two separate things. Number one, they want a man that is fully devoted, that will be there no matter what, through thick, through thin, no matter what mood she gives you. You are a steady rock. You're not going anywhere. That makes her feel safe. On the other hand, men who sacrifice all of themselves just to make her happy, they end up losing who they are. She no longer respects that man, and then she leaves him. You could see the paradox within those two needs that she has. For you to be this full man that keeps his value, that says no to her, but also gives her everything she wants to make her happy. How can both things be true? I'm going to tell you the answer in a bit. But first, let me share this quote. I don't often quote from the Bible, but Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Jesus Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Let's face it, a man's role in this world is the sacrifice. The question is, what are you sacrificing? Time, energy, resources. I mean, we even sacrifice our own lives for our country and our family. But when it comes to relationships, if you sacrifice all of yourself, there will be nothing left to love. This is the idea of the attraction paradox. To want your wife but not need her. See, the truth is, at the end of the day, she does want you to say no to her at times. Now, what you don't sacrifice as a man is your values, okay? Your solid boundaries in who you are. And it's hard to give you a case-by-case example if I don't know his situation of your relationship and everything. This is why we work with guys one-on-one in a group setting, because with all the variables involved in your relationship, sometimes you should come home earlier from work. Sometimes you should stay. Sometimes you should go with her on that date, even though she's not really accepting your boundaries. Other times you say, no, I want you to accept this boundary first, and then I'll go hang out with you. You have to have that discernment. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is an intuitive understanding. When you can know who you fully are, hold your own value, but know when to make that proper sacrifice without the covert contract, expecting something in return, because that's the man you are, she can feel the authentic love and devotion, that alignment at the apex Nell we talk about. And that is the most attractive quality that you can achieve. Okay? Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Here's the one on test right here. Love you. Cheers.